Good morning. I'm in sunny California outside a Joann fabric store. We're making a shirt today. This top is the easiest and cutest top I've ever made, and it's so versatile. It can be dressed up, it can be dressed down. I love this shirt. And very exciting, a company called Burda Style, they've been making patterns since the 1950s. Does anyone still think it's the year 2000? Because whenever I say 50 years ago, I think that was the 1950s, but it's actually 2022 right now. Where did the time go? Huh? Where'd it go? And they recently just launched what's called Burda Beginner. And it's a set of patterns that are super beginner friendly, easy, and they're really, really cute and perfect for summertime. And I found this fabric from the thrift store yesterday. Guess how much it was? This was $1. And this is literally so much fabric. I have the PDF version of this pattern, so these are really great because you can print these in the comfort of your own home, and it was only like 9 pages. And if you're wondering, how do you get all of these little sheets into one pattern? Let me show you. Over to Jessica. Why, thank you, Jessica. Allow me to explain. When you purchase a PDF pattern, all you do is hit print on your little pattern. As you can tell, I am at my parents' house by this 15-year-old picture of me on the mouse pad. Love that. This pattern was only about 8 pages, so it was super easy to print out, which is good because my mom gets nervous when I print anything more than 10 pages. Okay, now we have our pattern pieces, and I recently heard a little tip on a podcast that changed my life. When you're taping the pieces together, it helps to do it against a window or a sliding glass door, and this really helps you be able to see the lines perfectly and you don't get little dog hairs in them. It's just a game changer. Alright, just like any pattern, it'll come with different sizes, so you gotta measure yourself and figure out which pattern to cut out. So I'm gonna do a little waist measurement. I always stop breathing when I do this. Nope, don't do that, Jessica, don't do that. How many centimeters is 30 inches?
The answer is 76.2 centimeters.
Okay, now I'm measuring my bust and the widest part of my hips. Okay, now the pattern has multiple sizes on it, and I decided to go with a pattern size 40. So here I am just cutting my little pattern out. And on the pattern, it shows a line where the waistline is, but naturally my waistline is always like an inch higher than everyone else's waistline because I just have a shorter torso, and that's just a life problem that I have. So I also decided to shorten the shirt a little bit because I love me some shorter shirts. Okay, my fabric is folded in half, and I'm just gonna pin that pattern down. Now I'm taking a ruler and some tailor's chalk. Because these patterns don't come with seam allowance already included, I need to add my 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. You can pick whatever seam allowance you want, but I always like 1/2 inch. I think it's the easiest to work with. And I have my front side of my shirt. Now I'll lay that piece down and cut the same exact piece for the back side of the shirt. All right. Ooh, we are ready to start sewing. So I cut the pieces out. It's honestly looking a little bit oversized, but I think that's the style. I think if you want to like tuck it in, it's going to be like a slouchy, boxy look. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen, and that's why it's a little bit bigger than I would have probably made it. The Burda patterns also come with instructions, so I've been following along with these, and the first step in the sewing process is the interfacing / stay tape, which I don't have. I'm really thinking a stay stitch will work for this fabric because it's pretty sturdy. Like, I don't think it's wanting to lose its shape that much. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a stay stitch across the shoulder, around the neckline, and then across the other shoulder seam on the front and the back sides of the shirt. A stay stitch is just a simple straight stitch starting and ending with a back stitch, and you want to do this within your seam allowance. So my seam allowance was 1/2 inch, so I'm making sure to do my stay stitch a little bit shorter than that. And here it is. You can barely see that. Okay, the next step for the neckline, we're about to fold this neckline down to make it a neat edge, but first I'm gonna do a zigzag stitch along the top edge of the neckline. This is just gonna help the fabric so that it doesn't fray as much. If you have a serger or an overlock machine, feel free to do that, but this is the easiest way. Okay, once our zigzag stitch is done, I'm folding the top edge of the neckline down by about 1/2 inch and pressing it down. And I'll do this to both the front and the back side of the shirt. And now we can go ahead and top stitch that neckline. So just a regular old straight stitch, make sure it looks neat because you're gonna be able to see this one. Okay, now we're gonna place our front and back sides of the shirt together, and I'm attaching them at the shoulder seams. So I'm just pinning them down, and we're gonna sew each of those shoulder seams. And we're about to have a shirt in about 10 seconds. All right, the shirt is almost done. It's still looking a little big. I'm starting to wonder if these sizes run big. So we're gonna find out at the end. I might have to bring it in a little bit at the end. So all we have now are the side seams, and then we'll press down the armhole and top stitch the armhole and then hem it, and we're done. Okay, it's looking like it runs big on the model. So this is definitely supposed to be oversized. So let's put this baby together at the side seams. All right, the pieces are right sides together again, and I'm pinning them down the side seams. Now we need to make the armholes look nice and neat. So I'm gonna fold down the edges of the armholes by about 1/2 inch towards the inside of the fabric, and I'm just pressing them down. And now we just need to top stitch around these armholes. A little pro tip, if you have a sewing machine that has a removable little tool box right there, it always helps to remove that if you're going around something small like an armhole, or if you're sewing a cuff or anything like that. Y'all, we have a shirt. We have a shirt. This was the quickest shirt I've ever made. Yes, it still looks a little bit big, but I think the way it kind of drapes and lays off the shoulders, it's kind of really supposed to look boxy. So I like that. The only thing left to do is hem the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it on, see how much I wanna hem the bottom, and we will finish this shirt. Okay, I decided to hem mine by about 1 inch, so I'm just folding it up twice and pressing it down. This is gonna give me a nice neat edge on the bottom of my shirt. And we'll just give it a good little top stitch. I am absolutely obsessed with this shirt. I'm honestly shocked that it turned out as well as it did for being as simple as it is. This was the simplest thing I've ever sewed in my life. I love the fabric too. I think the plaid was a great call. Just all around, so cute. I will say when it's untucked, it is a little bit oversized for me. So I would say maybe size down depending on the look that you're going for, but I probably would have sized down a little bit. I would highly recommend checking out Burda Style if you're looking for beginner sewing patterns or more advanced ones. If you do, go onto their website, burdastyle.com, and you can get 4 sewing patterns for the price of 3 by using my code Jessica_Shaw. Go pick yourself out a beginner sewing pattern or a more advanced one, whatever you're feeling. They have absolutely beautiful patterns on their website. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go wear this for the rest of my life. Bye!